Hey everyone, I'm just so disappointed that this Nancy Mace, a Republican from South Carolina, is being so rude and, I don't know, just bigoted against Sarah McBride, who is a new congressperson from the state of Delaware. I know Sarah. She is the first openly transgender member of Congress, and she's an extraordinary human being, has done a great job representing the people of Delaware and is now going to be doing it in Washington. And it just seems nasty and mean and cruel because she is the only member who is now forbidden to use the ladies' room. And it's just shitty, you know? Anyway. I just wanted to say that. I asked Sarah if she wanted to do an interview. She hasn't gotten back to me. But I don't know. People are just mean, aren't they? It really makes me mad. That's it.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So the House Speaker has confirmed that the rules on Capitol Hill will be that everybody uses the bathroom according to their biological sex. Sarah McBride, although saying that I disagree with this rule, I'm still going to follow it. So many people were commending Sarah for following the rules and not making this into a bigger issue than it needs to be. That's how many people took it. However, Nancy Mace has said that she is not going to stop there. The fight continues because it's not just about Capitol Hill. It's not just about Sarah, because while Sarah says, you know, I'm going to follow the rules, there are other members of Congress who are transgender, who are male, who says that they have the right to use the women's bathroom. We even had the nerve to say that they're just as biologically female as females, despite being male. Somebody managed to go all the way to Congress, but failed biology at school. I mean, they must have.
Well, then you shouldn't try to erase women. All I have to say, for any man that wants to be in a woman's restroom, bathroom, dressing room, locker room, absolutely not.
Absolutely love it. You go, Nancy. Apparently it's unkind to say that somebody who is male should not be using the women's bathroom, even if they identify as women. Apparently it's unkind to say that people should use bathrooms according to their biological sex. But nobody's asking, is it unkind to tell women, regardless of what they've been through in their past, regardless of whether they have PTSD, what traumas they've experienced, that they must share a bathroom with a male, that they must share a bathroom with a man against their consent? Why is nobody calling that unkind? Why is nobody questioning whether that's okay? And then there's this whole we don't want certain people to exist, all while literally erasing women from legislation, erasing the very definition of a woman. The erasure of women has been going on for quite some time, but apparently the onus is on the woman to validate somebody, to affirm somebody. It's women who are accused of not wanting people to exist, while women are the ones who are being erased, while women's spaces are being erased, while things pertaining to women are being hijacked, erased, redefined, misrepresented. But we're supposed to be quiet and accept that, all to accommodate people who want to identify as women, who aren't women and will never be women, and they will certainly not be female.
I dare you to try and stop me from going into a women's bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. I dare you to try and stop a transgender woman in my presence from using the bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. This is a call to action and a call to arms to everybody within the United States that are scared, worried, have children that are transgender, lesbian, bi, or gay. This is a call to action. You need to arm up. Plain and simple. Go out, buy a gun. Learn how to use it efficiently, through and through. Because the time to act is now. You need to protect yourself, and you need to protect your fellow transgender brothers and sisters and theys and thems. You need to protect the rest of us in the LGBT community, as I'm going to do myself. I do not fear Christians. I do not fear conservatives. I do not fear evangelicals, and I do not fear Republicans. They just talk a big game. That's all they do. But heaven forbid you do something in my presence, you're going to know what fear actually feels like.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most vulnerable among us in society, who need to be protected, who need to use the women's bathroom. If they don't, who knows what will happen to them?
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab your...
And Nancy Mace said, "This is the exact type of man I don't want in the women's restroom with me." And no matter how you look at it, once you say that somebody can enter into a woman's restroom based on how they identify, you are letting all men into the women's restroom. There is no way to vet who truly has gender dysphoria, who truly feels they're a woman. And even then, they don't belong in a women's bathroom. But even if you are going to say that it's due to gender identity, you have removed the protection that a woman-only space provides. You have removed the protection that women need when it comes to going to the bathroom, when it comes to using locker rooms, showers, when it comes to sports. The moment somebody can infiltrate those spaces based on identity, that protection has been removed. And that, I will say, is unkind.
Hey guys, I am at the airport making my way back home to the Low Country in South Carolina. I just spoke at an event with a couple hundred people. Some trans lunatic tried to rush the stage and attack me. And he is just making the case for me that we don't want penises in women's spaces. F off. And I just had a woman come up to me and get in my face about it, and I told her to F right off. I'm not going to tolerate it, and I'm going to fight harder and bigger than ever before. I will be the giant you can't take out, and you can't bully me into submission.
I wish people would condemn threats towards women as much as they condemn women simply saying, "No, I don't want to share a bathroom with a man." I wish they would condemn this sort of thing just as much. So Nancy Mace has said that she is not going to stop at the Capitol. It's not just about Capitol Hill. She wants this applied to every federal building across the country.
Hey everyone, I seemed to blow up the radical left last night. I filed a resolution that would ban biological men from women's private spaces on the Hill. I'm just getting started, and I've already nowhere near stopping, and the death threats that I'm receiving now aren't going to stop me either. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Come at me, bro. Or bros in this case. I'm not going to take your threats for an answer, and I'm going to fight like hell for women and girls to keep men out of women's private spaces, to include bathrooms, restrooms, locker rooms, changing rooms, you name it. You are not welcome.
So now to a very bizarre response from AOC, using tactics that have been proven not to work. The recent election results prove that. This fear-mongering, this reach, I hope she stretched, because she is reaching like crazy in this recent reaction. This is the same tactics they tried with women's sports when it came to, they're going to want to inspect your genitals.
Today, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics banned transgender women from competing in the women's category. They also banned transgender men from competing in the men's category. They are saying that they are including us, quote unquote, but we can only play in post-season activities, which means we cannot actually compete. You may not have heard of the NAIA, but it's the second largest governing body of sports in college in the United States, the largest being the NCAA, which I competed in. This ruling is devastating, and it sets a dangerous precedent for sports governing bodies in the United States and beyond. And this decision was not based on some new medical information or some new scientific studies or discoveries that have been made. No, it was based on massive political pressure, the socio-political war that is currently being waged against trans people and specifically transgender athletes. But these types of bans specifically against transgender women in women's category sports are not just going to impact transgender women. These bans impact all athletes in the women's category, because in order to exclude transgender women, you need to know which women are transgender. And this demands policing the entire women's category. At what point is a woman too fast, too strong, too good at her sport to then be accused of being transgender, accused of not being woman enough? This hurts all women, and especially those already deemed not woman enough by some system of oppression. Black women, brown women, trans women, intersex women, the list goes on. They say that transgender women are dominating women's sports, but most people cannot name a single trans woman who has ever won a national or international competition. And the reality is there's only a couple dozen of them in the history of sport. Trans women are not dominating women's sports. Cis people dominate sports. And if you're afraid of toxic cis men pretending to be a woman in order to win women's sports, you're still not afraid of trans women. You're afraid of toxic men. The inclusion of trans people does not threaten sports. The exclusion of us does. The NAIA's recent decision is disturbing and harmful.
This puts women at risk because people may randomly demand to inspect their genitals. Yes, this is the sort of thing she came up with.
What Nancy Mace and what Speaker Johnson are doing are endangering all women and girls. Because if you ask them, what is your plan on how to enforce this? They won't come up with an answer. And what it inevitably results in are women and girls who are primed for assault because people are going to want to check their private parts in suspecting who is trans and who is cis and who's doing what. And so the idea that Nancy Mace wants little girls and women to drop trow in front of who? An investigator? Who would that be? In order, because she wants to suspect and point fingers at who she thinks is trans is disgusting. It is disgusting. And frankly, all it does is allow these Republicans to go around and bully any woman who isn't wearing a skirt because they think she might not look woman enough. People have a right to express themselves, to dress how they want, and to be who they are. And if a woman doesn't look woman enough to a Republican, they want to be able to inspect her genitals to use a bathroom. It's disgusting. And everybody, no matter how you feel on this issue, should reject it completely. What are they doing? They're doing this so that Nancy Mace can make a buck and send a text and fundraise off an email. They're not doing this to protect people. They're endangering women. They're endangering girls of all kinds. And everybody should reject it. It's gross. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely ridiculous. The same old tired tactics that she was using there when it comes to female sports. That means they're going to question women. At least she didn't mention black women. There's a lot of racists revealing themselves now who think that black women are men. At least she didn't do that. I'll give her that. So in order to protect women, we need to let men into the women's bathroom. If we don't let men into the women's bathroom, we are going to endanger women. Like there isn't an easy way to determine whether somebody is male or female. Number one, we can use our eyes. It's pretty obvious for the most part. Secondly, if it really is that deep, there are cheek swabs. I mean, this all started because of the first openly transgender senator. Now, if the person wasn't open about their transgender status, I think people would still be able to tell. I'm just saying, the whole purpose of women's spaces in the first place is to protect women who are more vulnerable, who are more prone to being victims of SA. That is the purpose of women-only spaces to begin with. But to say we must open them up to men in order to protect women from having to prove they are women is absolutely ludicrous. Most women are not going to find it hard to prove that they're women. It's very simple. Just like in sports. Again, when they were saying that, oh no, female athletes are going to be subject to gender inspections and all of this, when all it takes is a simple cheek swab, if it's that deep, which is something that many women actually want brought back. They want athletes to be vetted when it comes to those who compete in women's categories, because it was recently brought to our attention that women have lost out on 900 medals due to competing against male athletes, not just transgender athletes, but athletes with DSD too, who are classed as females with high testosterone. No. All this time, these women were competing against males and everybody knew it. But because they removed gender testing, these males were allowed to compete in women's categories because they said they were women and that's all it took. Some of them even have passports saying they're women. But you know what doesn't lie? The gender tests, the sex testing. That doesn't lie. And a simple cheek swab is all that is required. You don't have to go to the gynecologist and have an exam. You don't have to show what you have before you enter the bathroom. Absolutely ridiculous. What planet is this woman living on? And she claims to be a feminist. If we're talking about reproductive rights, you won't hear the end of it. Putting herself forward as a champion of women. But now something as simple and as basic as women's bathrooms and men's bathrooms and not blurring the lines. She can't even come up with anything more coherent than that rant that she went on. Because the reality is, facts are on our side, biology is on our side, common sense is on our side, and morality is on our side. It's very unkind to ignore whether or not a woman consents to being in the bathroom with a man. That is immoral, that is unkind, and quite frankly, barbaric to say that you have to share your space with people who are male and will always be male. To say that a man can be a woman and therefore can be in the bathroom with you is absolutely ludicrous. And that is what endangers women, because you're removing the women's safe space. And that is never the answer, by the way, to remove safe spaces for women. People have fallen down that trap of thinking that's the solution.
Every congressperson has a bathroom in their office, so she's got a bathroom she can use in her office, and I'm sure she can use your bathroom and the bathroom of every Democrat and every person who's not a bigot in the United States Congress.
We have bathrooms here. In this building, it just says all genders.
Yeah.
Why can't they just do that everywhere?
Yeah,
Well,
there are all gender bathrooms in many of the Capitol office buildings, not necessarily in the Capitol itself, but we're going to work through that
Renovate.
So now women have to have their options taken away. They have to have their bathrooms taken away to accommodate people who don't want to be told no, to accommodate people who are delusional, who are saying that they're biologically female when they were born male. We now have to have our bathrooms taken away because of that. Not every woman wants an all-gender bathroom. Some women want to know that this is a women-only space. Why should options be taken away from women by people who call themselves pro-choice, by the way? They're now advocating for those options to be taken away. That is not the solution. The solution is for people to know whether they are male or female and to use the bathroom according to their biological sex. If there are unisex bathrooms, great, use them. But don't take away the women's only space, the women's only bathroom. That is ridiculous. And guess what? Of course, even when there are unisex bathrooms or all-gender bathrooms, they still want to use the women's bathroom. Most of these trans-identified males, they still want to use the women's bathroom. They take pictures of themselves in the women's bathroom, bragging. Look at me, I'm in the women's bathroom. Something no woman does. We don't take photos of ourselves in the bathroom and brag about using the women's bathroom. Why would we do that? But when you know you're a man, when you know you are male, and who knows, maybe you get a kick out of it, or a little bit more than that, being a man in the women's bathroom. Because again, that opens the door to all sorts of people. So by no means is it right for women to be saying that we should take away spaces that are women only. Removing single-sex spaces removes people's options, removes people's choice to be with women only or to be in the men's space. And it only makes women more vulnerable because their only option is to share a bathroom with a man. And when a man walks in there, nobody's going to question it. That is not the solution. So Marjorie Taylor Greene has a solution. Let me know what you think. She says, here's my women's bathroom proposal. Instead of making a trans bathroom, we should make a Republican women's bathroom and a Democrat women's bathroom. So all the Democrat women who agree with men using the women's bathroom can share their bathroom with the mentally ill trans biological men that they support. But no biological men, no matter what level of dress up they play, are allowed in the Republican women's bathroom. Let them eat crow, seems fair. I fully support this message. That sounds good. No, don't even give their stupidity an inch. Democrats need to self-isolate from normal people. So do you think that's the solution to all of this? If you want to support trans-identified males who want to use the women's bathroom, if you want to support them, then maybe you should all go and use another bathroom. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves and God willing, I will see you in the next video.